Hey, Kevin here with another Flippin' Dork Flips and Finds video where I show you different items to pick up really cheap thrifting and garage selling, and then I sell them online either on eBay or locally on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Anyway, this week started off with a couple of local sales, so let me show them to you first. Alright, so here is the first item to go this week. It's a local item, and it is this little mid-century side table, end table, whatever you want to call it, nightstand. Pretty cool. It's rough though, it's going to have to be refinished, but it could be sanded and redone, except it is missing some veneer right there. But I imagine the person that was asking me about this, I think they're going to repaint it because their Facebook page, they showed a lot of painting projects and things like that. But anyway, it's got this drop-down door, a little hidden shelf in there and a little drawer that pulls out, so that's pretty cool. Really nicely built piece, has a great look to it. It was only $5 at a garage sale. I listed it locally on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace for $55, and I think that is what they are willing to pay for it. So they wanted me to bring it over. They live probably about 1.5 miles up the road from me, so I'll go take it over and see what's up. Okay, also, I had a bunch of people asking about this piece right here that I just picked up this weekend for $10. This is that little vanity, and I listed it for $85. And everyone that's been kind of serious about asking if they could come see it were saying, you know, could you do 75 on it? So I don't know if I'll get the full 85 or not, but there is someone coming by here pretty soon. And they never mentioned price. I don't think they are trying to get it cheaper. So hopefully they can show up, pay the full 85. I can make 75 bucks off of it and then just let everyone else know that it's sold. But it's pretty decent dresser. The drawers pull out nice, or not dresser, but vanity. And then this thing is real nice and clean. The mirror's not cracked. It's just the finish isn't real great. It's kind of stained up or something. But I figure whoever gets it will paint it up. So hopefully they show up pretty soon and pay the full 85, but we'll see. Okay, so I don't think I explained exactly how much those items went for, so I was a little surprised on both of them. So the little mid-century nightstand, side table thing or whatever, I was asking $55 on it. I only paid $5 at a garage sale. I went at $55 figuring it was kind of high due to how rough it was, but then I'd have some wiggle room so that I could hopefully get about, you know, 40, 45, which is where I figured it'd probably go since it needed so much work. And the person that bought it from me liked it so much that they just wanted me to bring it to them immediately. So I took it over right up the road and they paid me extra to deliver it. So I ended up selling it for $60 instead of $55. So I only paid $5, so I made $55 profit on that. So that was really good. Okay, the French Provincial Vanity went for less, but still more than everyone else was offering. So I was asking $85. I knew it was kind of high. I only paid $10 for it, so I would have been good no matter what. And when I listed it, I was getting a lot of interest and a lot of people asking. They were all asking either, would you take less or would you take 75 on it? So I figured that's probably the number. Okay, so anyway, this lady really wanted to see it. She come by. She never mentioned price. I figured she was probably going to pay the full $85. So she looked it over. Her daughters and her daughter's friends were there. They're the ones that's actually going to redo it. They were all checking it out. They really liked it. So I was like, hey, cool. This is going to be an easy sale. And then she said, would you take 77? That's all I brought. I was thinking, okay, well, I guess it's more than I was thinking. So I went ahead and accepted it. So I made a $67 profit on that. She said she wanted it so bad she just left the house, and that's all the money that she could find. She said she could have went by the bank, but it was out of the way or whatever, so I don't know. I didn't want to make her like leave and go back just for an extra, you know, couple of bucks, so I went ahead and took it. So anyway, that sold for $77, so I made $67 off of that. Okay, I also had a couple of eBay sales, so let me show them to you next. The first item that sold on eBay was this right here. I've got it kind of pre-boxed up, but you can kind of see what it is. I have it wrapped up. All right, I'll have to show a picture because it's more wrapped up than I remember. Okay, so this is that Canon EOS Rebel camera or whatever. I found it at Salvation Army. It was only $15. And I just kind of typed in, you know, Canon Rebel EOS, and I looked them up and was like, whoa, this thing's worth a lot more money than that. You know, it probably is like a $50 to $70 sale, so I was all pumped up and excited. And then I got home and I realized that all of the cameras I looked up were digital cameras that had sold, and this is a 35mm film camera, so it's a little bit outdated tech. People still buy them, but it's not worth near what I thought. Okay, so I paid $15. It's actually really close to about what people are paying for them. they were paying like, you know, $15 to maybe $25, maybe $30 for one that had, you know, accessories and things like that. So I was like, okay, I just want my money back and maybe make a few dollars on it. So I had it, I think I started it at $39.95 or $35.95 or something like that. And it was up for a while and just absolutely no action at all on it. So I just cut the price a whole bunch just to get rid of it, and I'll probably make a few dollars on it. So I dropped it down to $23.95 plus shipping. And like I said, I paid $15, so I'm barely making any money on it. And it eventually sold. Even at that price, it still took a little while. So it sold for $23.95 plus $9.85 shipping. So, well, I didn't write it down, but what is that, 30-something dollars total? And I paid $15. But basically, the $23.95 is what counts on my part. I will have to pay like about 13% for eBay and PayPal fees. So when it's all said and done, I don't know, what am I going to make? Like $7, maybe $6, something like that. So it was not a good find, but I know from now on that digital cameras is really what I should be looking at and not these film cameras. Although I'm sure there's some film cameras that are worth good money, but for something like that, a little more modern, I would go with the digital. Okay, also, this was a really good sale in that it was really quick. Maybe not necessarily for how much I'm getting out of it, but it's not too bad. So last night, I finally got around to listing my Nintendo GameCube controller, okay? Now, I was a little worried about it because I didn't have a way to test it. I don't have a GameCube. And the controller it had a really big scuff here on the bottom. And then the cable, when it was, I got this at a garage sale for $1 and they had it wrapped up. So it's probably been wrapped up for years and years and years. So when I undid it, the cable was all like kinked up and everything. It looked pretty bad. So I actually hung it for a day or two to kind of straighten it out a little bit. It's a little better, but it's not great. So I didn't know if that would affect the value or not. And it was only $1. And when I looked them up real quick at the garage sale, they are kind of going for, you know, $12.95, maybe $15, $16, something like that. Some of them are going a little more than that. So I figured it's not that good of a buy, but I want to kind of test it out, see how it goes. So when I eventually got around to listing it, I looked it up again last night, and there were some selling for a lot more money. So I put it up. It was probably like 11:45 or midnight. Like it was really late at night. And I decided to go ahead and put it, since it was a little scuffed up, at $17.95 plus shipping. Okay, because there was a couple that were selling at like $22.95, $24.95. So since mine's, you know, a little scraped up, I went cheaper. Okay, so like I said, $17.95 plus shipping. And then I was outside last night testing that telescope I bought, like 2 in the morning, checking out Jupiter and all. It does work, it's pretty cool. So anyway, I come back inside a little bit before 3 in the morning, and cha-ching, my phone went off, and the controller sold. So it sold in about 3 hours. So someone in the middle of the night bought this thing, and so that's pretty cool. So there's, you know, the video game people really like to buy stuff. So although it's not my $30 minimum, it sold quickly. So if I find more of those and they're cheap enough, I will probably go ahead and get them. So that's pretty good. So what I need to do now is go ahead, get these taped up, get some labels on them, take them off and or mail them off at the post office, and then get back to testing and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. All the stuff I just picked up garage selling this weekend, so I can finally get pictures of them and get them listed, because I'm getting really, really close to getting caught up already. So anyway, let me take care of that. Okay, so while I was getting those boxes ready to ship out and printing the labels, I sold 2 more things on eBay. So what they are is, first one here is a t-shirt. Kind of hard to see. I don't want to unfold it too much, but vintage NASCAR t-shirt with Jeff Gordon and his number 24 Chevy Lumina from the 90s somewhere. It's dated, I don't remember what it was, like, I don't know, mid-90s anyway. And I bought this at Salvation Army last fall. I've had it a long, long time. It was listed a long time. And I paid, I think it was $2, Salvation Army. And this one day, all of a sudden, they had a bunch of vintage, like, NASCAR shirts. So I kind of thought maybe they'd have value. I didn't even look it up. I just kind of grabbed some of them. I thought, hey, I've heard of Jeff Gordon. You know, he's probably worth some money. And, of course, it took forever. I had a Kyle Petty, I think it was Kyle Petty shirt also. That one actually sold quickly and for a lot more money. Okay, so this one I eventually, kind of like a lot of my clothes, I kept dropping on the price until it finally went. So I had it down at $8.95 plus shipping, and it just sold. So it went for $8.95 plus $4.45 shipping, which I believe is $13.40 total, and I paid $2. So the $8.95 is what counts for me. So that brings me, since I paid $2, it brings me down to $6.95. There'll be some fees. I'm making like a whole whopping $4 on the shirt or something like that. So it's absolutely terrible, but whatever. I got rid of it. I made a few dollars, and maybe I can get a little feedback from it as well. Okay, next item is pretty good. I'm getting better at finding items now. This one, again, I'll have to show a picture because I already had it wrapped up. But this is that Radica Klondike solitaire game I just bought this past, I think it was Friday, at a yard sale. I paid 25 cents for this. It worked. I just needed to clean it up a little bit, but I'm telling you, these Radica solitaire games are always really good sellers. They go pretty quick if you price them right too. So anyway, like I said, I paid 25 cents. I listed it for $14.95 plus shipping, and it sold. So it went for $14.95 plus $3.75 shipping, which I believe is a total of $18.70. So I probably really could have put it at about $19.95 with free shipping and made like an extra $1 off of it. If I find another one of these, I might try that next time. But I was just trying to go right in line with everyone else. But what you can do is just barely price yours a little bit above everyone else, and then just wait, and they usually sell. Especially something like this that is almost always a guaranteed seller. I've only had one solitaire game that did not sell, and it's because it's a really weird shaped one. It's almost like a really fat TV remote. It's very rounded instead of nice and flat. But these are awesome sellers. So anyway, I need to print labels for them as well, and then run everything to the post office. So that's what I'll do next.
All right, so I mailed all that stuff off, and then I did not have any sales the next day. So now it is Thursday, and someone this morning wants to meet for this bike. And I mentioned before that I bought it. It was laying on the ground like this. The tires were flat. I couldn't really test it out. It was only $10, so I picked it up at a garage sale and brought it home, aired the tires up eventually when I got around to it. And you can ride it, except the rear gears will not change. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's something simple. I'm not familiar with bikes. I just buy them and flip them when they're really cheap. And it ended up being kind of a bad buy. So I had it down to like $35. No one wanted it, dropped it down to 20, or down to 30, then 25. Then a guy last night offered me 20 bucks on it. So now he's on his way, and I'm gonna go meet him over at the gas station, and I'll make a whole whopping $10 on it. So it was not a very good buy, but at least I'll get my money back plus a little extra. And then I'll probably head over and do a little bit of thrifting. And I think there is actually a garage sale today, so I might go check it out, see what they have.
Okay, so I sold the bike to the guy for 20 bucks. He was happy with it. I guess he's gonna fix it up and ride it around. I only paid 10 on it. It sold for 20. It was not a very good flip. At least I made a little money on it. I don't have to think about it anymore, and I will be more careful with different bikes I buy. Now, it seemed like it was in about the same condition as a lot of other bikes I bought before, and it sold well, but this one just didn't. So I don't know. I'm not sure why the others sold better and this one didn't, so I don't know. But anyway, at least I'm done with it. I don't have to think about it anymore. So after I met him at the gas station for that, then I headed over to a gas station, a garage sale in town. It's Thursday, but there was one garage sale. Now I knew going in it was probably not going to be any good, but there was one item that caught my attention on their listing on Facebook Marketplace. So I knew it was going to be all like kids' clothes, but one of the items they had listed was cloth diapers. And it's one of those things I've been wanting to find and try because I've seen them sell for really good money. So I was hoping that they had like a good lot of them and that it'd be like all kind of the same brand and maybe a decent one. And I could buy them all and then just sell them as a lot on eBay. And I showed up and they had like 5 or 6 of them. They were all different sizes, which is probably not the best way to do it. I'm sure someone out there would probably still buy them that way, but it probably would be better if they were all kind of, you know, the same, roughly the same size. But they were all different brands. Some of them were stained up, some were just white, and then others were like crazy colored for like little girls. And I don't know, it wasn't really what I was looking for. But the thing with these is that I've seen people sell them in big lots, you know, like a lot of 10, and they're getting $45, $50, $60, $70 because they're selling, you know, they go for like $5, $6, $7, $8, maybe even $9, $10 a piece. And you know, if you get the right ones. But the ones I found today just weren't worth it, so I passed. And then I went to a couple of thrift stores. I hit up our Habitat for Humanity Restore. And like usual, probably 85–90% of the time, there's just nothing worth buying. It was all overpriced. They're just no good at all. So then I left there. I went to Goodwill, and they had a lot of stuff, but nothing good at all. Nothing I wanted to buy. So I was a little bummed out. So then I went to Salvation Army and I walked around. And our Salvation Army is pretty scuzzy. So they had a lot of furniture, but nothing good at all. And it was packed. I mean, they had lots of stuff. So it's going to be a while before they get anything good, because no one's buying the junk they have right now. So I walked around, I was about to leave, and then I saw this. So I decided to grab it. It was only $5. This is a bag full of inline skate wheels. So when I looked these up, this brand was actually selling fairly decently. But I kind of wanted to experiment with them because I think this is 2 complete sets. So these are for, well, I'll tell you, it's the brand Hyper. And these are the high octane wheels. They are indoor race wheels. And when I looked at them, it said 80 millimeters. So I figured this was 2 sets of 80 millimeters. But then I looked at them again right before I shot the video, and there's some 84 millimeter wheels in here too. So they're not even all the same size. So it might end up being a really bad deal. But anyway, these I think are for like inline race skates that have 5 wheels per skate. And I think there are 20 wheels in here. I'll have to double check. But anyway, my idea was that if I got them for $5, I could probably sell them used for maybe, you know, it's basically 2 sets for like $30–35. But now that I realize it's 2 different sizes, I'm not sure it's going to work out. So this might have ended up being a pretty bad deal. I'll try to, you know, get my money out of them and a little extra. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to double check. But anyway, that was all I found today, and just not a very good day for buying stuff. So I come home, and I've been doing a lot more listings on eBay and things like that, just getting all that stuff knocked out. And anyway, tomorrow is going to be Friday. There should be a lot more garage sales, and hopefully I can find some better stuff then. So anyway, I'll get back to getting pictures of these and see if I get them listed pretty quickly.
Okay, so now it's Friday, and I did a little garage selling this morning. It started raining though, so it pretty much killed off the rest of the sales for today, so I had to end a little early. But I did find a few things, and here's the one local item I picked up. It's this little bench, 2-seater bench. I think it's antique. The lady had a bunch of antiques in her garage. None of them were for sale except for this one. She was only asking $8. Now, the pad here is good, but this one has like sunk down. And well, here, I'll show you. See, it's like broke under there. But for the most part, it's in pretty decent shape. It's a little loose and wobbly, so it's going to need to be, you know, fixed up, tightened up, and I don't know, whatever. Someone could paint it or just redo it or whatever. So they were asking $8, and I got it for $5. And I think I could probably ask somewhere around $35 to maybe even $45 around here, and try to get it moving pretty quick. So anyway, now let me go inside and I'll show you all the stuff I picked up to put on eBay.
Okay, so even though it was raining, I still found some pretty decent stuff today. I decided to not go too crazy and to only buy items I thought were going to do pretty well. A couple of them here I kind of bought just because I thought they were really cool, but they should still sell fairly decently. Okay, so the very first thing I found today was this pair of boots right here. I'll just show you one. The brand is Danner, D-A-N-N-E-R. They're definitely used. They have some wear on the bottom, but they're in pretty good condition. There's no holes or anything like that. They were only $2, and when I looked these up, the comps on eBay that sold were going for around $50 to $60 plus shipping. So I'll have to double check those again, see like what condition they're in. If they were in better shape than this, then maybe these are like $45 plus shipping. But I think I could probably get $50–55 out of these, somewhere around there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, next one here. Okay, this is one of the items that I kind of bought mostly because I thought it was cool, and I thought it had a little more value than it really does. Okay, so this is an old RC jet, and you can see it's wired, so it's definitely old. I thought I saw a date on there. There we go. It's New Bright, which is a cheapo like Walmart brand, but it's from 1990, so it's pretty old. That would be, what, 28 years old. It's a little dirty. I'll have to clean it up. And I'll have to test out the remote and see if it has batteries, but it has all kinds of gun sounds and landing, and it lights up, and it, I don't know, I think it rolls. I think these wheels are powered. Yeah, you can hear a motor in there. So anyway, I thought this thing was pretty cool, and it was only $3. That's the main reason I picked it up, because it's pretty cool. It reminds me of something that I would have really wanted to play with when I was a kid. And anyway, for $3, the value is probably not as good as I thought. It's really only probably somewhere between $20 and $30 plus shipping. And it's not as good as I thought. I was thinking it was more than that, but I mostly bought it because I thought it was so cool. All right. Okay, at that same, now this was the first garage sale. This jet was the second sale. Also at that second sale, I got this right here. Another vintage RC. This one is by Radio Shack. And this is the Radio Shack Digital Proportional Jeep Renegade. And again, it was only $3. It's a little dirty. You can tell it was in storage. And I'll have to test it out. But, you know, put some batteries in there and see what it does. And when I looked this up real quick, I didn't realize that the ones that sold really well also had the box. So since this doesn't have the box, hopefully it at least works and it will hold some of its value. But it was only $3. And it looks like I could probably get $25 to $30 plus shipping. If it had the box, some of them are going for like $35, $40, $45, somewhere around there. But I don't know if I could quite get that. So hopefully, maybe I could get, like I said, $25, $30 plus shipping. So it's not quite my 30, but it's pretty close. And I thought it was really cool. If I could play around with it for a little bit and make some money off of it, it's pretty good. And these were the best items I found today. There was not a whole lot out there, but these are pretty good. So I've kind of found in my area to really try to find high-end items. It's hard to come across them. And even to get like my $30 profit and above, that's like after you buy it, after shipping, after eBay fees and all that, it's been kind of hard to find those too. But I've been finding a lot that are making me like, you know, 20, 25 and above profit. So, you know, when I'm shooting for that 30 and above, I'm at least getting about 25. So it's working out pretty decently. Okay, here's another item that I just mentioned, I think in a recent video that I said I'd never buy again, but this one has proof that it should sell decently. It's another Canon EOS 35mm camera, so it's not digital, it's a film camera. This is the EOS Rebel XSN. Now I need to double check. I think it's the same as here. This one says it's a 3000N, but you know, has the case, has the manual. I'm not sure if the lens is the stock one or not. I'll have to kind of look into that. The lady said she got it to kind of mess around with it, but now she moved on to digital, so she don't use it anymore. You can tell it still has batteries, the whole digital screen's working, LCD screen or whatever. But it does look, the battery light is flashing, so I guess it needs new batteries. Okay, but anyway, I got this. She had it marked at $10, and I was able to get it for $5. There we go, it's got a little tripod. So for $5, I looked it up, and there was one that did sell, I think within the last month or so, and it went for $39.99 plus shipping. So basically it went for $40. That one said it was tested and working. I'm not really sure I can test this one since I don't have film, but I think I should still get like 30 or 35 plus shipping. I think if I went $34.95 plus shipping, it would probably sell. So that at least fits in my 30 and above. Okay, the next two are pretty cool. This thing I had never ever heard of before. I saw it laying on the ground and there was something covering it, so all I saw was this little corner. I thought it was like a really old Walkman, so I grabbed it real quick. I saw $3. I was like, oh, perfect. This thing's probably, you know, pretty good value. And then I was looking at it, I was like, where in the world do you put the cassette tape on it? And so anyway, I looked it up. So the brand is Arion, or Arion, A-R-I-O-N, the HWO2, or the Hot Watt 2. It's a stereo headphone amplifier. So apparently, back in the day, you would get your old Walkman. Well, back then, I guess it'd be new. You put your Walkman on your belt on one side, and then you could buy one of these and put it on your belt on the other side. And then you'd have a wire going from your Walkman to this thing, and then from this to your headphones, and it amplified it and made it sound better. So it's made in Japan from the, well, I don't even know what that company is, Prince Tushikagyo Limited or something. I don't know. But anyway, the Arion Hot Watt 2, I got it for $3. I looked this up, parts only. If I just sell it as is and say I never tried to turn it on or anything, it will go for $30, okay? But the two that had sold, and one was pretty recently, within the last like week and a half or so, it went for $65 plus shipping. And there was another one that sold that was like $50 or $49.99 or something like that. So basically, I could probably get somewhere between $50 and $65 for this thing. And I'm not exactly sure how to test it, so I'd probably have to go on the low end. But I think at a bare minimum, like I said, a $30 return on $3 is pretty good. But I'm going to shoot for at least about $50 and see what happens. So that's really, really cool. Okay, and then when I left there, it was starting to rain pretty good. It was kind of, the first couple of sales, it was real nice out, and then when I hit up to the sale where I found this, it started to rain just a little bit. And then when I got to this one, when I left, it was raining pretty good. And then I found this at the last sale, and it was coming down hard. And like I mentioned in another video, I think, when it starts raining, when the rain comes down, so do the prices. So I got an awesome, awesome deal on this. Okay, I've only heard of this brand, and I knew it was good as soon as I saw it. And man, if you feel this thing, it is really legit. Very, very nice. Okay, so the brand is Pelican. They make lots of cases, a lot of those like plastic hard cases that you use for, you know, like a tour band might use for traveling, and they put their mics in one, and another one, you know, has like, I don't know, just mixers and things like that. So you imagine the really hard plastic cases, but this one was like a backpack. So when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know about that. Is that kind of like their low end, you know, get a kind of like Yeti coolers making a t-shirt, you know, just kind of getting people to want to buy their stuff, and then they eventually, you know, buy a really high-end cooler. So this I looked up, and it actually is very legit. Okay, so this is the Pelican laptop camera bag. It's the model S130, and it's actually really, really cool. Okay, so you open it up, it's got your camera stuff in there, and then I was just kind of looking at it, and I knew the brand was good, and it said $25 on there. And as soon as I picked it up off the rack, the guy was like, hey, if you think that price is too high, I can make a good deal. I was like, oh, perfect. I'm going to get this even cheaper than that. Even at $25 would be good. Okay, so then the top is just all open. You can just put more stuff in there. And then it took me a while to figure this out, but he showed me that the Pelican part is here in the back. All right, so it opens up, and it has a laptop case. And it's their hard plastic that they're known for, with that kind of like foam interior. So I thought that was really cool. But I mean, this thing is really heavy. I thought since it had the handle that maybe had rollers on it, but it doesn't. And it's just a really, really nice backpack. Just tons of pockets and pads and all kinds of stuff on there. So anyway, when he said he could do a better deal, you know, if I thought 25 was too high, he'd do a little better deal. I was thinking, okay, can I get it for 15? That would be amazing. So I went to pay for it, and he was like, well, how about, I said, so you said you'd do a little better deal. How much were you thinking? So I got him to say the first price, and he said, well, how about 20? And then I come back, I said, well, how about 15? And as I said, how about 15? He's like, you know, those Pelican bags are really expensive, so that's a pretty good deal. Well, I had already looked it up. I knew the value, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it for 20. That's fine. And anyway, I paid for 20, and I walked away, and man, I got a great deal. Okay, so on eBay right now, brand new, these are selling. There was one that sold for $315 or $305. But most of them brand new are going for about $189, somewhere around there. But used, which this one is because it does have some scuffs, I should be able to get $80 or $90 plus shipping, somewhere around there. So there's one that sold very recently. I think it was $89.99. I saw another one that went for $79.99. So I think I could get somewhere around there pretty easily. So I definitely want to get pictures of this as soon as possible and get it listed, because that would be a really, really good turnaround. So anyway, that was the finds today. I'm going to do some more garage selling tomorrow, which will probably be a different video. Now, I also had a couple of eBay sales, and I have an item that I think I can sell locally today. So let me show them to you next.
So here's that local item. It's that little nightstand I picked up, I think last week. It's a Bassett. It's actually built pretty nicely. It's just a little chipped up, missing a handle, needs some work. Top's a little messed up, so I figured someone could probably paint it up. I think I paid $5 for it, and I'm only asking $25 on it now because I'm just trying to get rid of it. So hopefully the person will like it enough to want to buy it. I'd probably even settle for like 20, which would not be a very good flip. I'd be okay with $20 on it because it is a little rough around the edges. So hopefully I can take it over to them because they're at work right now, but they said they could meet me. And anyway, take it over there and hopefully they'll buy it from me.
All right, well, I took that little nightstand over, and the lady liked it. She's going to repaint it for her daughter, and she bought it for the full $25. So I made $20 on it, which is all right. I wish I would have made more. I think when I first listed it, I had it up at like $50 or $45, somewhere around there. I was really hoping to make about $40 profit on it, but it didn't happen. I made half of that, so $20, whatever. I'm done with it. Okay, so I mentioned I had a couple of eBay sales. They were not real great, but these are both items I'm kind of just glad to move on. So first one here, I think I showed in a video a while back. This is that Hervik tape splicer. This is really old school, like video or audio, tape editing equipment. And basically had these little sticker things. You'd cut your tape, you'd stick them in here, splice them together, and now you got, continuous tape. And anyway, I found this at Salvation Army. It was $3. I knew it was not going to be a real good flip when I bought it, but I just thought it was kind of interesting and cool. Kind of a rescue, I guess you could call it. And anyway, I put it up. I figured it would probably sell somewhere around 15-ish, somewhere around there. I wanted to try to get a little more out of it if I could. So I decided to put it at $12.95 plus shipping. Put it in my box, weighed it, measured it, put it in the listing, and it took a couple of months, but someone finally bought it. So it sold for $12.95. Whoops! It sold for $12.95 plus $4.80 shipping, which I believe is $17.75 total. Okay, the next sale I've had for a really long time. I bought this back in October, I think. One of the very last garage sales I went to last year. Or, sorry, not a garage sale. It was a estate sale. And I went to it, it was like a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at night or something. It was a really weird time on a weird day, and it was an estate sale, which is usually way overpriced. Anyway, I think I spent a whole $20 at that sale, and I bought 2 items. So the first one was this mountain bike. Don't remember what brand it was now, but I paid $10. I think I sold it for like $50 or $55, something like that. The other thing I bought was this. This is a Schimmel Furs shoulder fur jackety thing, whatever, and it was only $10 at their sale. And when I looked it up on eBay, I couldn't find one just like this, but I found like a Schimmel jacket. I think it might have sold for like $100 or something like that. So I figured I could probably get maybe 50, 60, 70 out of it, somewhere around there. So I decided to go ahead and buy it, kind of try it out. I probably won't be buying any more of these because it took forever. I still have another one I've had even longer than this that hasn't sold. Okay, so anyway, I had it. I don't remember where it was, 80 or 70 or something like that. I dropped the price. I finally had it down to $49.95 plus free shipping or best offer, and I got a best offer for $40 on it. So I decided to go ahead and take it. So it sold for $40. I paid $10. I will also be paying shipping, so I'm not going to hardly make any good money off of it at all. After fees and all that, probably a little less than $15 profit. So not real good. Kind of an experiment, kind of like this, I knew going in that maybe it would not be a good seller, and it proved to not really be very good at all. So anyway, that was it for sales today. A little bit slow, but I did have the local sale, which was all right. Now, I do need to go ahead and get these mailed off at the post office, and then also in a little over an hour from now, I want to head way over across the other side of town. There is a garage sale that I want to be the first person to show up there because their listing on Facebook had several pictures, and one of them really caught my attention. And their picture was of a set of Bowflex adjustable dumbbells. Now, it didn't say how much they were. They even had a sticker, but I could not read the sticker in their image. But I looked these up, and it could possibly be like $150 or $200 or maybe even a $300 set of adjustable dumbbells. That's eBay prices. I would probably try to sell them locally. So depending on how they're priced, this might end up being a really, really good find. If they're only asking like $40 or $50, I will buy those so fast. And then, man, I could probably sell them locally for like $125, maybe $150, $175, somewhere around there. So we'll just have to see how they price them out. They could know exactly what they have, and it's way too high, and whatever. So anyway, I want to head there, but I need to mail this stuff first.
So I had to run to town earlier today, and while I was there, I decided to run by Goodwill, just going real quick, and they had a table and chairs there. And I was a little disappointed. There's only 2 chairs. It's always harder to sell them that way. I always recommend doing 4 chairs, but I kind of want to test this out because for the most part, it's a pretty decent set. It's real wood. It could be refinished. They could put 2 or 4 more chairs with it, kind of mismatched looking, maybe paint the legs white, have that kind of, funky, distressed country farmhouse look or something like that. So I'll make sure to put that all in the listing. It's a little rough around the edges. You can see it's scratched up here in the center. I put in the extension leaf just to kind of show you. It's a pretty big one too. It's like, 16 inches, 18 inches, real big one. But you can see it looks a little goofy with just the 2 chairs. So when I take pictures, I will take the leaf out and then, you know, the scale will look a lot better for pictures. And then when I show that it has a leaf, it'll just be the table. I won't have the chairs in that picture. I think that will help us out a little better. But anyway, I got it at Goodwill for $40. So it was a little high. It's probably not going to be my greatest flip. I imagine it will probably go for about 60 to maybe 70, 75, something like that. So it's not going to be, I don't think I'll double my money. But the idea with this one is just to do it real quick. See if it can disappear tonight, make a little money, you know, just sell off another table and chair set. So when I list it, I'll make sure to say it's, you know, can be used as is or be great for projects. It's real wood. You could finish the top and then paint the base and have that kind of farmhouse look or whatever. Put a couple of mismatched chairs with it and have a real nice table set. So anyway, let me go ahead and clean it up, take some pictures and get it posted, and I'll let you know what happens.
All right, so it's probably a little dark now because I got back from that sale. It was at 5 o'clock in the evening, and now it's 7. So anyway, I went over there. I wanted to be the very first person to show up, and I figured it'd probably take maybe 20 minutes to get over there to that side of town. So I left to try to get there with about 15 minutes ahead of time, something like that. So I show up at 4:45, so 15 minutes before it opened, and someone is already sitting in front of their house in their car. So I thought, that person is waiting for those weights. All right, so then I sit there about 5 more minutes, so now it's 10 till 5. Another car pulls up, there's a guy in there. I'm thinking that guy's looking for the weights too. So they pull up, and I think I have the best parking spot, all right? So then 5 o'clock rolls around when they're supposed to open, and nothing. And another car pulls up, and there's a couple of women in there. And then they're kind of sitting around. So about 5 after 5, you see the garage door go up. So as soon as I saw it, I got out of my car, and I was the very first person into the garage. And I looked on the floor, and 2 things that I thought would probably happen, happened. First thing is the other 2 people there were looking for the weights. The woman, the first thing she said is, "Hey, are your weights still here?" And then the guy was sitting there looking around on the floor, you know, trying to find them. And but I had predicted that they had already sold. All right, so I've seen it happen before when people post their stuff on Craigslist or whatever, and they put pictures of things that look really good. Sometimes they show pictures of like old Nintendo games and things like that, and then you'll show up first thing. I've done this before too. I've showed up first thing in the morning to try to buy some video game stuff. Oh yeah, I sold that last night to some guy that come by. Well, this guy had sold the weights and the weight bench, or he didn't sell them, he gave them to his cousin. But they kept that picture up, and that's why at least the first 3 of us that showed up, that's what we're looking for. All right, so then the lady was like, "Oh, I wish you would have told me that, or I wish you would have mentioned that they weren't here anymore." So then she looked at some crafting type stuff and bought some rubber stamps or something like that. And then the guy that was looking around the floor, when he realized they were gone, he just left, all right? So then I'm looking around, and the very first thing I see when I walk in is a bunch of Harley stuff. He had Harley leather boots and some hats. I thought, whoa, okay, this is actually a pretty good sell, even though the weights aren't there. So I look around. The boots weren't. They were asking 15, and they were only worth like 30. I thought they were going to be worth a lot more. They were kind of like a women's high heel Harley boot, and it's, I don't know. I think people looking for Harley boots are looking for ones they can ride in, not more of a fashionable looking one. So anyway, I'm looking around, and then I spot a couple of really good things I think are worth picking up. So here's what I got. All right, so the very first thing is a pair of men's Nikes. These are glow in the dark, all right? They're a little dirty. I will try to clean them up. It's not necessarily my best buy. It's kind of like some of the other things I got today. I mostly bought it because I just thought they were so interesting. I will clean them up. It's still a decent deal, and it'll be an okay flip. So I got them for 10 bucks, and they seem to be selling for about 30 on eBay, plus shipping. So I'll probably make, 15, 20 bucks, something like that on them. But I don't know, I'd clean them up, maybe wear them a time or two. It's not really my thing, but I tried them out. I'll try to show a little picture or maybe a video or something of these in the dark. They actually get really bright. I mean, the entire thing glows. So anyway, I found those, okay? So then I'm walking around and I'm looking at the crafting stuff. Nothing good, nothing good, nothing good. And then I see this poking out, sitting on the table. Check this out. Another Texas Instruments TI-84 Plus calculator. The good thing about this is it has batteries, but they're all dead. So when you try to turn it on, it doesn't come on. So he didn't have a price. I said, "How much is that?" He said, "Well, let me look at it. Let me see if it works." And then he hit the on button, and it didn't. He said, "Oh, it's going to need batteries." He said, "How about $2?" I thought, "Oh, perfect. $2. If I wait till the school season starts, this is like 65 bucks. The last one I sold a few weeks ago had that spot on the screen. I think it was a TI-84, and it sold for $50 or $55. So this one is just a little dirty. I'll have to clean it up, and it should work. I think it will. But I might hold on to it for a little while, or I don't know, maybe someone's buying it for the summer. But this is at least $50, but I'm gonna try to hold out and get like 60, 65 out of it. So for $2, that was a really good find. Okay, and then the other thing I found was some PS3 games. All right, now I'm still kind of experimenting with video games. I don't know a whole lot. These all ended up, after I come home and looked them all up, they ended up kind of being duds, but it doesn't matter, because when I asked him how much are those, he said, oh, I don't know, how about $1 a piece? So I got every one of these games for $1 a piece, so that's totally worth it. Okay, so I'll hold that one out because that's actually a pretty good one. So this is, I know it's not going to be any good. I looked it up and it's not. This is Reflex Motocross versus ATV. Any type of sport game, motorcycle game, sometimes even racing. They're not really worth that much money. So for $1, this would probably flip for $5 to maybe $7. Sniper Elite. All right, I'll look this one up. Kind of same thing. Maybe $7, $8, $9, probably not even $9. Probably like $6 to $8 possibly. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. No one really wants this one. Is that the one that was... I think that was... I don't know. One of these was almost worth nothing. I think it was this one. One of them sold for like $1.50 plus shipping or something like that. All right, then we got Call of Duty Ghosts. I think the same things, like $5, $6, maybe $7. And then we got this one, LA Noire. This one might have been a little more. This could have been... I don't know, this one, I don't remember if it was maybe 12 or 13 or if it was really like 7 or 9. So really none of them are that good, but this last one was really good. So what I'll do with these games is, a few weeks back, if you remember on a video, I bought a PlayStation 3. It only had the cord to plug it in, and it had 2 off-brand cable or off-brand controllers, but there was not an HDMI to test it out. So the lady sold it to me for $10. Well, I got an HDMI cable off of Walmart website. They had this crazy clearance. I got one for $2. I need to try it out. If it works, what I'll do is I'll bundle these with it, and I can get a whole lot more money out of it, because now someone will buy it and have something to play. So I'll test them all out, make sure they work, but that should be a really good deal. So I'll have $1 a piece on these, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, and then that cable was $2, so that's 7, and then the PlayStation itself was 10, so I have 17 in it. And I'll have to look at prices again, but I would think I could get 100, 120, maybe 130 or something like that. Of all these games, that'd end up being a really good flip. Okay, this one I held separately because this should be a really good flip on its own. So this is Rocksmith. It's the 2014 edition. I think this is kind of like Guitar Hero, except you use an actual guitar. It's kind of like you learn to play guitar while playing the game. And it has a cord with it, okay? Which apparently when you look these up, not all of them have cords, so this is like really sought after. It makes it a lot more valuable. So just the game itself, sometimes I looked them up, they're like, $7.99, sometimes they're maybe $13, $14, but with the cable, that price bumps up a lot. I saw one that sold for $28.99, there was another one that sold for $40, I think, plus shipping. So I don't know if it's missing anything. I don't know if there's supposed to be more paperwork or whatever. I'll have to double check all of that. But I think at a bare minimum, I should get 25, something like that. Maybe I'd go $24.99 with free ship or with added shipping, or maybe I get more. I don't know. But the cable is something that a lot of these are not sold with, so that's a really good bonus. I didn't know this went with it. It was just laying on a table, so I left it there. And then I was walking around. He gave me a bag to put everything in there, so I threw all the games in there, the calculator, all that kind of stuff. And I was walking around and see what else he had. He's like, "Hey, did you get that Rocksmith game?" And I said, yeah. He said, well, this cable goes with it. So I grabbed it. So I'm glad that I did not leave that behind. So that should be a really good flip. So I did not get my, $200 set of dumbbells. Those were long gone. No one else got the deal either. So I guess I feel kind of good about that. And I still found really, really good stuff that everyone else passed on. They were strictly looking for dumbbells, and after that, they were all bummed out and pretty much left. Now, he also had some really nice boots there. But those 2 ladies that showed up at the very last minute, they were grabbing all that stuff. So it looked like they were buying for a family member, not necessarily for resale. But man, I think I got some pretty good stuff at that sale, even though it didn't quite turn out like I thought. So anyway, that was the flips and finds of the week. I'm going to stop it here because tomorrow's Saturday. I'm going to hit up more garage sales. I'm sure I'll find way more stuff. And this video is probably too long as is. So anyway, if you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, and then if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that, and then click that bell icon, and that should help you see and keep updated with the videos when they come out. So anyway, thanks for checking it out.